In a dusty corner of a forgotten mechanic shop on the edge of the city, where skyscrapers cast long shadows and the smell of oil clung to the air like a second skin, lived a boy named Armand. He wasn't just any mechanic. He was an orphan, raised by the streets, nurtured by machines. The shop belonged to old Baba Hadir, a retired mechanic who had found Armand sleeping under a broken-down truck one rainy night and took him in. That night, the sound of thunder had nearly drowned out the soft sniffles of the 8-year-old curled under tarpaulin. Baba saw something in the boy's eyes: fire, pain, and a hunger to prove the world wrong. He gave him a home. Not much, just a corner with a mattress and a blanket. But to Armand, it was everything. Over the years, Armand learned every bolt, every valve, every engine code that passed through the shop. While other kids played games or chased dreams from books, Armand chased the hum of engines, the beat of pistons. He learned to listen, not just to people, but to the soul of machines, and they spoke to him, whispered secrets no one else heard. He could take apart an entire car blindfolded and rebuild it better than new. Clients who once scoffed at the boy with the oily hands soon returned with awe in their eyes. But the world never forgets where you come from. Wealthy car owners never looked Armand in the eyes. Some tossed him keys like scraps. Others warned him not to touch the seats. Still, he worked. Never complained. Each repair was a step closer to the dream he never dared speak aloud: to own his own workshop. To be respected, to matter. One blistering afternoon, as sweat dripped down Armand's brow and the heat baked the tin roof above him, a sleek silver Rolls-Royce Phantom pulled up outside the shop. It gleamed like a spaceship, its curves catching every shard of sunlight. It didn't belong there. Not in a shop where the most expensive car until then had been a dented Toyota. A driver stepped out and opened the rear door. Out stepped a woman, in a tailored navy suit, sunglasses masking her eyes. She walked with confidence that came from generations of wealth. Armand paused mid-repair, wiping his hands and watching. The woman's presence quieted the entire block. I need your best mechanic, she said, not looking at anyone. That'd be Armand, Baba Hadir replied. She turned, eyebrows lifting slightly as she looked at the lean young man in a grease-stained shirt. My Rolls-Royce won't start. I've taken it to 3 garages. No one can fix it. They say it's the onboard computer. Are you up for the challenge? Her voice was measured, laced with skepticism. Armand nodded. Let me see it. Inside the workshop, the Rolls-Royce was unlike any car Armand had touched. It was royalty in metal form, power, beauty, and arrogance rolled into one. Most would be intimidated, but not Armand. He knelt, listened, touched, and within minutes, his hands moved like an artist on canvas. It's not the computer, he murmured. It's the sensors on the air suspension. The last mechanic probably reset the codes without checking the lines. One's damaged. The woman, still unimpressed, said, Can you fix it or not? I already did, Armand replied, stepping. Back, the engine purred to life, not roared purred, like a lion stretching after a nap. Smooth, strong, regal. She stared. You did that? In 10 minutes? I listened better than most. She studied him. What's your name? Armand. I'm Zara Khan, CEO of Khan International. Armand had heard the name. Who hadn't? She ran one of the biggest conglomerates in the country. Real estate, tech, fashion. Untouchable. I want you. To work for me? She said abruptly. Sorry, Armand said, surprising even Baba. This is my home. I don't fix cars for a living. I fix them to learn. That intrigued Zara. She nodded slowly. Very well, but I'll be back. And she was. The next day, then the day after. Each time with a different car, a different test. Sometimes no issue at all, just to see how he responded. And every time, Armand passed. Then one day, she brought her daughter. Her name was Ania. She was nothing like Zara. Ania was soft-spoken, curious, and kind. Where Zara walked with power, Anya walked with wonder. She watched Armand work, asked questions no one had ever asked before, not about what he was fixing, but why he loved fixing it. For the first time in his life, Armand felt seen. Anya started visiting more often. She'd bring tea, sit beside him as he repaired engines, sketch in her notebook. Was an artist drew blueprints of cars with wings, trains that hovered. They talked for hours about machines, about life, about dreams. One evening, as the sun bathed the city in gold, Anya whispered, "You're the only person I know who creates something from nothing." Asterisk. Armand didn't know how to respond. No one had ever said that to him. Asterisk. But word got around. The slums whispered, the rich scoffed, the billionaire's daughter hanging around a mechanic. It became a scandal in upper circles. Zara was furious. Not because of Armand's background, but because she saw the look in her daughter's eyes. She confronted Armand one night. "My daughter is not your fairy tale," she said coldly. "Whatever you think is happening, stop it. I let her come here because I trusted you. Don't make me regret it." Asterisk. Armand looked her in the eyes. "I never asked her to come. I never wanted anything from her, except her friendship." Asterisk. Zara's jaw tightened. "She doesn't need a friend like you." But Anya thought differently. Later that week, she arrived crying. Her mother had forbidden her from seeing Armand. She said, "You'd break my heart. That you'd trap me." Asterisk. Armand stepped back, pain flashing across his face. "Then go. If this is causing you pain, go." "I don't want to," Anya said. "But I do," he lied. "You belong to a world I don't understand." She left, and the garage felt colder than it ever had. Days turned into weeks. Armand buried himself in work, refused to eat properly, spoke less, laughed never. Baba tried, but even he couldn't break through. Asterisk. Then, one day a man in a suit showed up. Not Zara, not a bodyguard, a lawyer. "You're being sued," he said. "What?" Armand asked, confused. Asterisk. For damaging a Rolls-Royce. "Zara Khan is claiming you cost her company millions by installing unauthorized parts in a prototype vehicle." It was a lie. A cruel, deliberate lie. Asterisk. Armand stood in the courtroom with a public defender, shaking as the judge read out statements. Zara sat like stone. Anya was nowhere in sight. But just as the final judgment was about to be announced, a voice rang out. "Stop." Everyone turned. It was Anya. Asterisk. Hair loose, eyes ablaze, voice shaking. "This is all wrong. My mother lied. I saw the reports. He fixed the system. Her company used his design without his consent. He didn't damage anything. She's doing this to keep us apart?" The courtroom fell silent. Zara's face paled. Asterisk. The judge demanded an investigation. Within days, evidence came to light. Armand had not only fixed the car, he'd innovated it, improved it. The air suspension system he created reduced cost, improved performance, and was now being patented under Khan Motors. Without his name, Asterisk. Zara lost the case. And something more important, her daughter's trust. Asterisk. The world watched in stunned silence. Asterisk. But Armand, despite being proven innocent, disappeared. He left the city, left the garage, vanished, until a year later. Asterisk. A luxury car pulled up at a tiny workshop in a village outside the capital. A new workshop, sleek, modern, with a sign that said, Asterisk. Our core motors engineered by heart. A woman stepped out. Zara Khan, Asterisk, and beside her, Anya, radiant, smiling, holding a small box. Asterisk. Armand, Zara said softly. "You didn't just fix a car. You fixed a legacy. I was too proud to see it. But I see it now." Asterisk. She turned to her daughter. "And if you'll still have her." Anya opened the box. Inside was a simple ring. Armand stared, overwhelmed. Zara added, "You have my blessing. Not as a billionaire, not even as her mother, but as someone who finally learned that integrity is more valuable than any fortune. Armand stood frozen, staring at the simple silver ring resting in the velvet box. The same hands that had rebuilt shattered engines and torn down rusted metal now trembled. This wasn't a bolt to tighten or a wire to fix, it was his heart wide, open, exposed. In front of him stood the woman he had tried to forget, her eyes pleading without a word. Beside her, Zara Kantha, billionaire, who once tried to crush his name, stood not with arrogance, but humility. Asterisk, for a long moment, the entire courtyard of our core motors remained silent. Then Armand exhaled slowly, stepping forward. Isn't a joke? Asterisk, no, Ania whispered. It's the only truth I've ever fought for. Armand looked at Zara. You hated me. Zara nodded. I didn't understand you. And when people don't understand greatness, they fear it. The wind rustled the tarpaulin sheets hanging in the distance, the scent of motor oil blending with wildflowers from the field beyond. Armand's heart thudded, loud in his chest. Then he reached into the box and slowly pulled out the ring. He looked up at Ania. Are you sure? She smiled, tears in her eyes. I never stopped being sure. He slid the ring onto her finger. Cheers erupted, not from reporters or socialites, but from the villagers, workers, and customers who had come to love Armand as their own. Baba Hadir, now a frail but proud figure leaning on his cane, wiped away a tear in the corner. The wedding was held 2 weeks later, not in a 5-star hotel or a golden ballroom, but under the open sky beside the very garage where Armand had started his new life. Bamboo arches, fabric streamers, fresh flowers from the local fields, and guests from every class. Mechanics in oil-stained coveralls sat beside CEOs in designer suits. The food was cooked by volunteers, the music provided by local kids, and the joy. It was enough to light up the whole country. Zara Khan, once feared for her steel business mind, stood proudly beside her daughter. She even raised a toast. I once believed that fortune was built in boardrooms, she said. But Armand taught me otherwise. Real legacy is built with love, with honesty, and with hands that never give up. The applause shook the trees. The world couldn't ignore the story. News headlines exploded. Greater than from wrench to wedding, the mechanic who won a billionaire's heart, greater than our core motors, the garage that humbled an empire. A billionaire's daughter, a grease-stained ring. The boy who listened to engines. The press hounded Armand for interviews, but he turned them all down. The story isn't mine, he told them. It's about what we can become when someone believes in us. But Ania wasn't the only gift that life gave him. One morning, a white limousine rolled into the new Core Motors complex. Young man stepped out, carrying a briefcase and wearing a nervous smile. He introduced himself as Danish, head of international development from a luxury automotive firm in Germany. Mr. Armand, he said, offering a folder we've studied. Your suspension redesigned from the Rolls-Royce project. It's a mechanical breakthrough. We'd like to offer you a partnership, global licensing, co-design rights, and a founding engineer position in our advanced research division. Armand blinked. Are you serious? Danish nodded. We don't partner with many outsiders, but you're not an outsider, Mr. Armand. You're a pioneer. That night, under the stars, Armand sat beside Ania on the rooftop of their modest home near the garage. He held the proposal document in his hands, quiet. You're thinking about turning it down, aren't you? Ania asked. I built this place from nothing, he said softly. Leaving it feels like leaving a part of me. Ania turned to him, her eyes glowing. You didn't build this garage with your hands, Armand. You built it with your heart. That goes with you wherever you go. He smiled. The next morning, accepted the offer. But not alone. He built something greater. Core International was born an automotive design hub where orphans, dropouts, and street kids were trained, mentored, and given jobs. The first global branch was launched in Dubai, the second in Istanbul, the third in Nairobi. Every location had one golden rule written on its wall. Greater than we don't fix cars. We rebuild lives. A documentary followed soon after the boy who rewired the billionaire's heart. It went viral in weeks. Zara Khan stepped down as CEO of Khan International, passing the reins to her daughter Ania. She said the world needed a gentler leader, one who understood both skyscrapers and scrapyards. And as for Arman, he refused the title of CEO. He remained chief mechanic. Every Friday, no matter where he was in the world, he wore his original coveralls, rolled up his sleeves, and repaired a car for free, usually for someone who couldn't afford a wrench, let alone an engine. One Friday, a little boy stood outside Arcora Karachi's gate. Dirty shirt, scraped knees, holding a broken toy car. Security tried to stop him, but Arman spotted him. He came forward, knelt down, and asked gently, "What's your name, Hassan?" The boy whispered. "My papa said if I ever find the boy who fixes things, he'll fix anything, even hearts." Arman took the toy, smiled, and said, "Well then, we better get to work, Hassan." Epilogue years later. Faded photo sat in the reception of our core global headquarters in London. It showed a young boy in a dusty garage, holding a wrench almost too big for his hand, beside an old man with kind eyes. Behind them was a broken truck and a dream waiting to be born. The caption below read, "He didn't just fix a Rolls-Royce. He fixed a broken World War I engine, one person, one heart at a time." And if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that no beginning is too humble and no dream too impossible, then don't just scroll away. Like. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more stories that prove love. Humility and heart can change the world, because you're not just watching a story here, you're part of the movement.